podcast, where we like to talk about anything involved with mobile technology, from cell phones to tablets to watches to VR headsets, whatever you can think of. We got Matt Gissentanna here, and a special guest, Jenny Toddy, is with us. Unfortunately, Devin Derrickson wasn't able to join us tonight. He had on-call work. We all have had those emergencies before. We can feel for him later. But first off, everybody say hi.
Hey everyone.
Hello. Hi.
Hey Matt, why don't you tell the people who are watching how they can participate?
Alright, so if this is your first time here and you're not familiar with the Hangout podcasting process, on the right hand side you'll see where you can do Q&A. That's where you can leave your questions for us to answer during the show. If you want to vote for a question that's already been asked, you can actually vote for one on the right-hand side as well, and it'll push it up to the top so that we can see it. Also, if you have a question maybe after the show or in between, you can email us at mobileblast@baldypal.com, and we'll read those and answer those on air the next episode.
Yeah, and if that email address isn't easy for you to remember, it's going to be on the intro page to the podcast here.
Correct. Yeah.
So tonight's episode, guys, we all have a Nexus in hand. I've got a 5X, and you two, you have a 6P. And I know our readers, our listeners, our watchers, myself, are very interested in how you feel about the Nexus 6P. I know you haven't had it long, Jenny, but if you don't mind, give us a little first impressions, if you will, about the Nexus 6P.
Yeah, it's fast. I like that. It's really easy to switch between apps. So it definitely works quickly. The messaging app is really impressive. Sort of allows a little bit of multitasking. So far, I'm definitely in love with it.
Having some good battery life?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna see where the battery life is after this chat, since I'm using it to do this. So I'm at 67% now, so I'm gonna map it and see how it does with the video.
Excellent. Hey Matt, what do you got to add to that? You got a 6P, right?
Yeah, I have a 6P. What color did you get, Jenny?
Oh, I got the graphite.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I went with aluminum. It was the one that was closest to my iPhone 6s Plus. But so far, I love. There's nothing I don't like about it, other than it's slippery because it's that full aluminum. So I'm just trying to pick out a good case. But overall, the phone is great. The most important thing to me, coming from iOS, is the camera and battery life. Those are like the two biggest things, and it's impressive. Both the battery life is pretty good. I took it off the charger about 8 a.m. and you know, with new phones, it's kind of hard to judge battery life because you're always on it. It's not really a real case. So I went from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. and I still had about 28 to like 32% left. And that's way more than I would have. I would probably die with my iPhone 6s probably around 5 p.m. So I'm pretty happy so far.
What about Matt? What about like software? It's got Marshmallow. This is the only the 5X is the only thing I've messed with that has Marshmallow. How is this 6P handling it?
I don't really have anything to compare it to because this is my first Android device, stock Android device that I've used since the Nexus 4.
And any major nuances that you're recognizing that you either just can't handle, can't deal with, or is it running perfectly smooth?
It's running really good, but I will say one thing that's kind of confusing is like right here on my home screen where I have these notifications. So the fingerprint reader is really fast. So literally once I put my fingerprint on there, it unlocks. But sometimes I actually want to see what's on my home screen. And you see that's the active display, kind of like the Moto 3, the Motorola Pure stuff does.
Yeah.
But what I've noticed is like, so right now I have these alerts, and if I tap it once, it says touch again to open. And to me, like right now, I'm at my house, so it's a safe location. But if I was out and about, you almost have to double tap the notification that you want, and then you have to hit your fingerprint or do the keypad unlock. And it seems clunky the way it works. It's not like iOS where you just kind of swipe to the right and then put your thumbprint and then it opens up in the app. Having to double tap the notification is kind of weird. I kind of wish it was a different way to interact with that. That's pretty much it. I've noticed that there's a lot is different now, especially with some of the apps I used to use that required root don't require root anymore. Like the Light Flow app that allows you to control the LED. Last time I used it, you had to root your device in order for it to have access to the LED, to change the colors and things like that. But now I'm able to customize like everything. I can have different apps show different LEDs, and it's pretty cool.
Jenny, you seen anything on your phone as far as the operating system is concerned? Aren't you coming from the Galaxy S5?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen anything irritating yet. It seems like it's handling the software really well. So I don't really have any complaints software-wise yet.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why I asked that is because when we dive into the 5X, I got lots to talk about there. I don't think the 5X is handling Marshmallow very well.
No.
Really?
Really.
That's interesting.
But let's talk about the 6P some more. Jenny, camera quality.
It's, well, I guess you guys can tell me how it looks because I'm using the front-facing camera now. It's really good. And yeah. I guess it's even better because the display can handle really good quality too. So you can actually really enjoy pictures that you're taking or videos that you're recording. So yeah, camera's really good on this one.
You're on what? You're probably on 4G, doing a live hangout on front-facing camera. It looks from my end. It looks a little bit better than what Matt has.
Okay.
But I don't know what Matt's using. Matt, what are you just got like a regular webcam? Are you using your studio camera? What are you using?
I'm using my MacBook Air camera.
Well, yours seems to be going in and out as far as pixelation quality. Jenny, you got a pretty consistent image on the front, but like I said, we're over the internet. You're on 4G,
yeah.
So your pictures are coming out well, though, right?
Oh yeah, they're coming out really clear. I haven't tested it too much as far as like different settings. I guess on the specs page they were talking about how it's supposed to work really well in low light. So when I'm going to shows and stuff like that, I'm definitely going to be testing that out too.
That's good. Hey Matt, the 6P hardware quality.
I think it's on par with anything that's come out, like from HTC to HTC One. If you've held that before, it's very similar to that. I hate to keep comparing it to Apple, but I think it's much, if not better, than the iPhone 6s Plus when it comes to the hardware quality.
Have you tried to bend it yet?
Nah. No, but actually, funny story is my iPhone 6s Plus actually got twisted. And I think I told you about that. I ended up going to the store to get another one. And I find it really funny that when this one comes out, people are actually trying to twist the phone. I don't think manufacturers build phones, thinking about somebody going like this, like actually twisting it.
But you didn't do yours on purpose, right?
I didn't do mine on purpose. I think what happens is that I review cases on my channel, and I kept taking my phone in and out of the case. And when the official Apple case, you take it out like this, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But with all the other cases, you have to take it out like this. And when you're doing that, you're kind of torquing it a little bit. And I think that's what I was doing. But I found it really weird when I took it into the Apple store. They were really quick to change it. They didn't really ask me any questions.
That's
He
good.
just he literally put it on the table. He saw it wobbling, and then he's like, okay, I'll get you another phone, and then just walked to the back. He probably went back and showed his manager, and they started freaking out. But um, it's the hardware quality on the Nexus 6P is very nice. I don't want to put a screen protector on it because the display's so nice, and I'm so used to not using screen protectors. But I don't have the Nexus Protect thing, so I don't know how I would feel if I crack my screen.
Well, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the Nexus Protect isn't exactly what I thought it was, where you put it in your cart and buy it with the phone, and it's $69, I think, and then you're alluded to believe that you could just turn it in for a new phone, like a warranty or something, but really you still have to pay, and I don't know how much it is, but you still have to pay a fee for each time.
Yeah, it's essentially like Apple Care. Like you pay, like my Apple Watch, I paid $60 for Apple Care, and if I break this watch, no matter the damage, it costs me I think like $70 to get another one.
Yeah. Well, Jenny, I know your time is limited tonight, and I appreciate you joining us. But before you leave, I want to talk about Project Fi. How long have you been using it?
I've been using it just this week. I think I got it Monday night or Tuesday night.
Okay.
And so far, I've mostly just used it between work and home. And it seems to be working really well. I previously had Verizon, which I guess is sort of known for having a lot of really good service no matter where you are. But I haven't experienced any outages or anything like that. So it seems to be going really well so far.
I think we were talking earlier about getting an app to determine if you're jumping on Sprint or jumping on T-Mobile. If you're able to figure out a way to determine which carrier you're on, I'd be curious to know which one you're on the majority of the time.
Oh, yeah. I think I want to say it would be maybe Sprint. My boyfriend has T-Mobile, and it's kind of spotty around here sometimes. But that's just what came to mind first. But yeah, I think I am going to get that app so I can see where I am most of the time and kind of compare the carriers.
That'd be good. What about you, Matt?
To kind of add on to her experience a little bit, I haven't had any outages or any dead zones anywhere. But what I did notice is that for my first couple days, there were some spots where I had low signal. When I did a speed test, it was still pretty good. It wasn't like I was, but slow speed. But in my mind, I was thinking, why isn't there a way to manually switch to another carrier that may be marginally better, but still better? So I looked it up, and I saw that there is a code that you can type in. It's like hash star, hash star, hash star, no, hash star, hash star, and then it's like Fi T-Mobile, and you can switch over to T-Mobile. And then it's like Fi, there's another one that's like Fi Auto, and you make it auto switch for you. Then there's like Fi Sprint, and then you can jump over to Sprint. What I've noticed is that when you're on Sprint, you don't have data, simultaneous voice and data. So you'll know when you're on Sprint because you'll try to get an email or pull up a web page or something, and it won't work. So that's why brought up my point is why I wish you could switch. What if you're in an area where you need data and simultaneous voice and data, and you're on Sprint, you should be able to manually switch to T-Mobile. If T-Mobile doesn't have a signal, then let it tell you it doesn't have a signal. But right now, I don't think it really does the switch intelligently. I think it just kind of, as soon as you turn the phone on, it like picks the best network and it stays on that until you completely lose service with that provider.
Okay, so I would have assumed like if you had 4 on T-Mobile, but going into that area you had 3 on Sprint, it would make the jump for you.
Yeah, I thought so too, but that's not what I've experienced. It's what I've noticed now is that I switch it to Sprint, I'm always on Sprint.
Even when you're driving around the town or something?
Yeah, all around town, all my normal places I go, Sprint is good and T-Mobile is good. So I would have to go to a spot where Sprint doesn't have service and T-Mobile does have service in order for it to really switch. And I don't know. I think that it's not doing it like they're intending and where they're advertising it. But I do know one thing: the whole Wi-Fi calling and all that stuff works really good because it joins Wi-Fi networks really easy and quick.
Well, that's good. So like an AT&T network, open network, or
Yeah, like the ones at Starbucks and McDonald's and Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Pretty much all of them. You know, Piggly Wiggly, Winn-Dixie, all those places that have open Wi-Fi.
So AT&T has like open networks on different areas of town that aren't necessarily bound to a building or something like that, right? So if like you're, I don't know, maybe you're out the mall or something, right?
Yeah.
The outdoor mall. Have you noticed that at all? Do you know?
I haven't been over there, but it's connected to just about every open Wi-Fi.
Probably every time you walk by a storefront, it'll have a different network anyway.
Yeah, it'll connect. It'll automatically pop up. It'll give you this little notification, and then it'll just connect.
Okay.
I do know that if you pass by someone's home or a residential area and they have an open guest network that requires like a login with a special password, not necessarily a terms of agreement, it'll keep trying to connect to that network.
Oh. So like a WSP2 or something?
Yeah.
Okay. WPA2, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's secure with the password, but not a splash screen or something like that. Okay.
No, I mean like there's like Cisco routers. You can have a guest network where it's a splash screen with an actual password, like.
Okay.
But the network.
So like Smoky Bones Barbecue, you can connect to their open network, but you can't get to the internet until you accept their terms and conditions.
Correct. It'll automatically pop up, and you'll see their terms. Like when you look at your phone,
Okay.
It'll pop up and do all that stuff.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good. Anything y'all want to add to Wi-Fi Project Fi that we haven't touched on yet?
I think I don't know, the biggest thing for me is just the terms of service. You know, you're not signing a 2-year contract. So I think I'm hoping that more people will jump on board just because of that.
Yeah.
Kind of change up the market a little bit, just because I think that's really valuable, and they don't charge, overage fees if you go over your data plan. So it's
What data plan did you go with?
right now I have the 5 gig.
Okay.
I'm going to see how that works out. So test it out, see how it works next month.
Isn't that a scenario where if you don't use everything you paid for, you get a credit?
Yeah, so if you if you have 5 gig and you only used 4.5, they credit a little bit back to your account. And in the same sort of vein of things, if you have 5 gig and you use 5.5, you only pay that half overage instead of just being knocked up into the entire pricing tier. So it's pretty consumer friendly, I think.
Yeah, I like how simple it is. Like it's $20 for your $20. They call it Wi-Fi Project Fi Basics, and then $10 a gig, and then your taxes.
Yeah,
That's it.
So simple.
I mean, it's really simple. It's crazy. Your bill is literally a screenshot. Like that is it. As in the comparison to, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and Sprint. Where you're just getting all this stuff.
All right. So the true test is, can you survive in your area with Sprint and T-Mobile? And I think that's different depending on which area you're in.
Yeah.
Or where you work.
I think that I work in Brentwood, Tennessee, and I live in Nashville, far apart. But I go to Atlanta often, and I'll take a couple of trips to New York or San Francisco, and those are all major cities. So coverage is generally pretty good. Now, I'm kind of curious when I go and visit my parents for Christmas, who live in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. That'll be the real test of how good, I guess, T-Mobile and Sprint networks are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you now, it's not pretty.
It's not good.
But then again, Matt's right here by us, so
yeah,
he can truly tell you because he's using it here.
Okay.
I will say
But
this: I've been out in the middle of nowhere and not had signal on Verizon, and even though I have an iPhone and I can do iMessage and FaceTime voice calls over Wi-Fi, I would have really loved to have Wi-Fi calling. Because you go out to someone's house in the middle of the country, they may or may not have internet, but more than likely they do. It would be nice to still be able to get calls, and you're not just completely off the grid.
well, Jenny, we're hitting about 9:20. I think you had
Yeah.
to jet.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
really
have to
appreciate you
sign off.
joining us, even though I know it was limited. I really appreciate you joining on and giving us your account of the 6P. Um, I'll be shooting you some questions. Jenny's going to write a post for me on the Android Anthem with her full impressions of the 6P in the next coming weeks or days. So y'all look forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for having me. I'll try to stay tuned in and watch what the rest of you guys have to say.
All right. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, hey, we didn't get to the 5X yet. Are you ready to hear about this?
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
Okay. Let's start with the good, because is it better to start with the bad and end on the good, or vice versa?
I want to hear the bad first.
Okay. The camera software is a complete jinx of what Nexus stands for. You can't count on it loading when you need it to.
Sure.
When it does load, it takes a little while to do it. In HDR mode, you can watch the second hand on a clock tick by before the picture is actually captured.
Oh yeah, HDR takes a minute.
The quality of the pictures, though, are very decent. I'm not going to compare it to a G4. I'm not going to compare it to even a Note 5, but it's still really decent. I would say it's above the rank of last year's Moto X, but definitely below this year's Moto X, I don't even think this year's Moto X is on par with Samsung's Note 5. But Samsung's got great cameras. You got to admit that. I haven't honestly tested the iPhone cameras, but you have, and I know you love those. So
yeah,
I say those are comparable to the S5. Not the S5, but the Note 5 camera. So okay, that's enough about the camera. The material it's made out of, it's a plastic carbonate, right? Plastic. It's very light. I mean, it's feather light, 136 grams, and it doesn't slip in your hand when you try to hold it one-handed. So the grip is really good. But one thing though is it feels as though it was made of lower end hardware. The buttons aren't metal, the buttons are plastic. The only thing metal on here, I think, is probably there's a metal ring. I'm sorry, not a ring, but the metal around the edge of the phone is an aluminum, and then there's metal around the fingerprint scanner. But even the front sounds kind of plasticky, and the back is definitely lower quality. The one thing I do like for sure on it, though, is the screen is nice for its size. It's a 1080p 5.2-inch screen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check that dimension, but I think it's a 5.2-inch screen. And the picture, not the picture quality, but the screen quality is very nice. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's got very good detail. You probably can't see it here. I don't even know why I'm trying.
No, it looks washed out, but it
the speaker grills are on the front-facing speakers are very nice. Sounds good. It's got a big. No, you sure? I've covered them both up with my fingers, and I can hear sound coming out of both of them.
One's a earpiece, so it looks like there's two, but there's really one.
All right, I'll take your word for that. There's a big chin at the bottom. It could have less chin on the bottom, but I love the LED in the speaker grill. Do you see that?
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't used. Have you got that on 6P?
No, mine is in the top left corner. It's really hidden. It's really, you don't even know it's there until it lights up.
But you have it. I love Light Flow, the app Light Flow. I haven't used it
hold on.
since the Samsung Nexus, Galaxy Nexus. But
Oh,
I love the colored LEDs. Let's talk about software for a minute, though. It has a bunch of hiccups. You hit the home screen or the home button, and it'll take a second to get to the home. Google on tap, when you press and hold, that executes perfectly every time. But when you hit the home button again to take that away and go back to the home, it takes it a little while. Jumping between apps through the app scroller and jumping to the next app. When you scroll, you can scroll, but it won't refresh the screen. And then eventually it will refresh the screen. Yeah, I saw your face. Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a Nexus phone.
It doesn't sound like a Nexus phone.
That sounds like an LG.
It sounds like an LG low-end type software experience. There are some changes I like. I love the new that they put the volume controls back in. The fact that you can actually hit the down arrow and see the other volume controls, and you don't have to go into the settings to actually change the volume. That I'm so glad they decided to bring that back in. Fingerprint sensor is very quick.
Oh yeah,
very quick. I haven't had the opportunity to try Android Pay on it yet, but I hope to have that opportunity very soon.
Yeah, I got mine set up. I just set it up today. I actually use Apple Pay a lot. And everywhere I use Apple Pay, Android Pay. So I'm gonna go try it and see which one's easier. I mean,
the battery life. It's a step back. Let me see my notes here. The battery on this phone is a 27. Is it 2760? You got that in front of you real quick?
Yeah.
I think it's a 2760, 2700. But I take it off at 6:30, and if I don't turn on at 15%, if I don't turn on battery mode at 7 p.m., it'll be dead within the next hour. I'm not used to that. I had a Moto X for the past 3 years, and it did better than that. And Moto X wasn't known for a good battery life.
Yeah.
But I could go to sleep at 10:30, 11 o'clock, and my battery would still be kicking around 2%, 3%, 4%. This one's going to be dead around 9. And I haven't changed its usage. I mean, I used my review units just like I use my personal phone. YouTube, videos.
Does that work on Verizon? Can you drop your Verizon SIM card in there and it works?
It's in there.
Oh, okay.
It's in there, buddy.
It activated everything fine. Like it was like any other phone.
Any other phone, no hiccups whatsoever.
That's nice. That's actually a really nice phone to have on Verizon, though.
Yeah. Well, if I hadn't gotten in touch with Jenny with her 6P, and she's going to write our review on the 6P, I would have gotten it. But since she is, I'm not going to worry about it and let her take care of it. So I probably won't get a chance to try the 6P. But I have to be honest and say, if I had purchased this phone to be my own personal phone with the full intention of keeping it, I would be disappointed. That's my overall impression. I would be disappointed. And a lot of it has to do with the poor camera software.
Do you think when you got the phone, did you do like a restore of your backup from another phone, or?
No, I did a brand new everything. And then I went and cherry picked the apps I wanted to install.
Yeah, I wonder if that I don't know. I wonder if maybe you got a bad unit or something.
Well, okay. So I'm gonna have it for another week. This weekend, I'm gonna do a complete factory reset and see if my last 5 days I have with it will change the tune. We'll just have to see. And usually a factory reset will fix software bugs if it's due to a bad setup, or like you were suggesting, you brought over old data from a backup or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do it again this weekend and just see if it changes things. That's my view on the 5X. I'm glad that y'all like the 6P. I might just have to pull the trigger and order a 6P so I can try anyway, because right now the 5X is going to leave a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth on the whole Nexus line, which I've got everything that worked on Verizon I've had, which has only been like the Galaxy Nexus, and then I've had the Nexus tablets.
I remember when we had the Galaxy Nexus. Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
When it first came out, I liked it. It got slow over time. I had to put CyanogenMod on it, but when it first came out, I really liked it.
Yeah, it was good. They just abandoned it. Like it was just like it's like the illegitimate child of the
That's why you root, right? That's why you root and put on custom ROMs.
I feel like I'm getting older or something because I got this phone and I'm thinking, man, I want to install a different kernel so I can do tap to awake, and I'm gonna just do all this hacking and stuff. And I'm just like, nah. That's why I use an iPhone, because I just want the phone to work. I want to be able to like tweak some things. And then now that I'm on this, I have the urge to just look. This is how I have my phone set up. Like this is an iPhone user here. I have one widget for my calendar and I have weather. That's it. And I have then I have more apps. I'm so used to just the app, just having what you need on your screen and tapping it. If I ever have to go here.
You didn't touch it. There you go.
If I ever have to go into this app drawer to get something more than twice, I'm just going to drag it to the home screen and make an icon, because I'm just so used to the whole iPhone style of just having your screen full of icons, and that's it. I mean, like I like these widgets. It works out good. This is what widget is this? Sunrise calendar.
Yeah.
Because this it pulls in from iCloud as well, so I have iCloud work and Google Calendar all in one calendar. And other than that, I'm pretty much an Apple phone. This Nexus.
Well, then since we've talked about Nexus and we've talked about Project Fi, I did get another present in the mail yesterday, and that's the LG V10.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be doing an unboxing on this puppy very soon, and I got high hopes for it personally. It's not as large a device as the G4, as far as the screen is concerned, but the phone itself should be as big as the G4, which was a really good phone, by the way. But that's from AT&T. I got that in yesterday. I was wondering if I should even unbox it on the air and then just do a hardware tour on my YouTube channel, or just do the full unboxing. But I think I'm going to go with the full unboxing on, a real traditional unboxing on air, recorded. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and we'll get to that later. I also have, since we're talking about devices in hand, I got the Huawei Watch right here.
Oh yeah.
So if I can give a quick 2-minute spiel about the Huawei Watch. Its screen is beautiful. Hold on. My camera's focusing on me right now. There you go. The screen of the Huawei Watch is absolutely beautiful.
What's the diameter of the screen? How big is the screen?
I was fixing to tell you that before you interrupted. I think it's 42 millimeters. I think it's 42. Okay. It's got a bezel. Can you see the bezel that kind of dips into the side, to the screen?
Yeah, I see it.
That actually catches things as it's on my wrist. That actually touches and hits things more often than the Moto 360 I had, which had no type of metal bezel and it was just glass. I don't know what it is, but it like sticks out further or something. It's hitting more objects, like the chair or the table or something you walk by.
Yeah.
It might be, this next thing I'm about to tell you, it might be because it's currently paired with the 5X and it's having some software situations. But the Huawei Watch has a serious delay in notification. For example, I can receive a telephone call. My wife is calling me. I purposefully wait to see how the Huawei Watch is going to handle that incoming call. And I wait. And I wait. And it still hasn't showed up yet. And it's already rang 4 times on my phone. So I answer my phone so that my call isn't, I don't miss my call. And then for some reason, now I get the notification on my Huawei Watch. So something's not right there. I want to. I'm going to pair it with my Moto X 2014, my personal phone. I'm going to pair it with that next week and see if that situation changes any. But right now, that's pointless. That's absolutely pointless to have a phone call notification come in on the watch after you've had to answer it on your phone. It's not a fast. It's not a bad delay as far as regular notifications are concerned. It picks up what I say very well, so it takes voice dictation very nicely. The screen is clear. I said that before. I'm not missing, or let's say I'm not put off by the lack of a flat tire because I'm used to the Moto 360.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I had taken a screenshot. Let's see if I can get this to show up on screen here. I want you to see when you pull down the notification shade to see the percentage. Look where the shade stops. Can you tell there? It stops right where the flat tire would be.
That's funny.
Okay, hold on. All right, there you go. And then just think of that. And then if I get a message, like a text message notification, I don't have any more lines of text on the Huawei Watch than I do on my Moto 360. It's the exact preview on both experiences. So I said all that because people are really giving the Moto 360 a hard time because of its flat tire situation. But I'm actually finding that the flat tire with the ambient light sensor provides a better experience than the screen not utilizing the screen that it has. Follow me there?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I mean, you can see the 6 at the bottom of the clock dial, yeah, but to use the functionality of Android Wear and it not even take into account the fact that it has that extra screen space, point missed, as far as I'm concerned.
I think, wasn't the 360 the first Android Wear watch? Wasn't it?
Well, no, Samsung had one and LG had one too. It was the first round one. LG and Samsung and Motorola, all three had one at Google I/O 2014.
That's right. Okay.
And they gave one away to all the people who were there. Actually, I think they gave one of the Samsung or one of the LG, and then also a Moto 360. But it was the first round one, but not the first Android Wear.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I wonder if they're kind of using the same. I wonder if, because that was the first round one, if that is the base ROM or whatever, the base image for all round Android Wear smartwatches.
I would disagree with that. I think because Android Wear is meant to go on any size, shape, or form, that it would have one base that would fit the dimensions of the screen, just like it knows when you've got a tablet versus a phone, and you don't have to change the app to fit either screen experience.
Well, I'm curious now because I want to get my hands on the Urbane and some of the other round watches and see if it still does that in the notification pane or if it does that in messages.
That'd be a good test. I haven't touched one of those yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually want to try to get my hands on the LTE Urbane.
That'd be a good test when you do. Let me know how that turns out. Hey, have you got any thoughts on the BlackBerry Priv?
I really like it. I really, just from what I've seen, I used to be a huge BlackBerry fan. I had all of them. I actually saw a leak earlier on Crackberry of the candy bar phone called the Vienna, BlackBerry Vienna. And it's just the keyboard at the bottom and a tall screen at the top, just like the old Blackberries. I could use that.
It's not a slider?
Nope, it's not a slider. It's really nice.
What's the screen ratio?
4
4:3, 16:9.
I don't know. I haven't. I just saw a picture, a little image of it, and the couple colors that it's coming in, like white, brown, and black, and like a bluish teal color. But it looks good, man. I think BlackBerry should have done this a long time ago, and they should have just turned into a hardware company
and just put Android on it with their own flavor of it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's pretty much stock, and it's pretty much like Motorola's flavor of Android. It's just stock Android with meaningful additions. You know what I mean? I can't stand Samsung's phones. I like their hardware sometimes, but they put way too much stuff on it for it to be Android anymore. And then they have Tizen coming out. It's like, why even have Android on your phones anymore? Why not just start another platform if that's what you really want to do? But LG is pretty minimal. Pretty much Sony, Motorola. Was it Sony, Motorola, and who else? And BlackBerry are stock Android.
Sony?
Close.
Well, okay.
It's just Sony Xperia phones. Most of their phones are pretty stock Android. Now they have little tweaks here and there, like the notification pane is like more transparent and more black. But for the most part, it's stock Android. It's not like LG or Samsung where it has like different icons and stuff like that. The newer ones do. I know some of the older Xperias did. I remember this one with AT&T that came out around the time The Dark Knight Rises came out. That was pretty heavily skinned. That was back when they were trying to push the whole PlayStation phone.
Yeah, the Z3V was the most recent, and that was back in February of 2015, this year. The Z3V, that was what, the Z2 in the body of the innards of a Z3 in the body of a Z2, but put on Verizon's network. Mm-hmm. But it was skinned.
It was skinned?
Yeah, it was skinned. The icons were skinned. They looked just like the Xperia tablet icons that were like marble-shaped circles. The notification drawer, the pull downs, the settings menu, all of it was skinned. There wasn't a hint of stock Android on it. However, I've heard that's different on the Z5, which I haven't had my hands on yet.
I wonder if that's, I don't know. I wonder if that's because it went to a carrier or something. I've never.
It could have been Verizon, how they like to put their say so in all the devices they put on their network.
Man, I wish the Droid branding and stuff would just drop. That stuff is tired.
I like the Droid branding. I cannot wait to touch the new Droid Turbo 2. Did I lose you, Matt? Well, until Matt comes back.
Oh.
Is he there? The Droid Turbo 2 should come to us within the next couple of weeks for us to have an unboxing, a review, all the gamuts that come with the review, thanks to Verizon over here at the Android Anthem. Matt will probably get one at the same time or shortly after as well for his YouTube viewers. It appears as though Matt is having a little bit of internet problems.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, there he is. Welcome back to the show. Maybe he's here, maybe he's not.
Yeah, I'm not. My internet is going on with Chrome. Chrome is messing up.
Okay. Well, let's do something real quick, Matt. This will be the last episode that will probably air before Black Friday. We'll probably come back after Thanksgiving, beginning of December with the episode 3. But in light of that, I wanted to help our listeners try to pick out the best technology they can during the Black Friday sales. So can you give 2 or 3 important tips on what they should look for? Matt has now fully left us. Well, here's my 3 important tips that you need to look for when you're going shopping for tech on Black Friday. Number 1, make sure the technology you're looking to buy, whether it be a phone or a tablet, works with the Google Play Store and all the Google services. Because if it doesn't, you won't be able to download all the games and apps you're used to from the Play Store. Second, make sure you have enough memory and storage space. Anything less than 16 gigabytes is going to be a waste of money. The reason is because the operating system is starting to get really nice, but also really heavy, which means it's going to take the majority of that space up just for the operating system. You're going to want the extra room for apps and games and pictures. Matt's joined us back. We're just going over some tips for shopping for tech on Black Friday, since this is the last episode we have before Black Friday.
Gotcha.
So I touched quickly on making sure that the technology works with Google Play services and making sure you have at least 16 gigs of space, because anything less than that, the OS is going to take the majority of it up.
Yeah.
And then the last tip I have for everybody going to buy some technology on Black Friday: if it sounds too good to be true as far as the price or the deal is concerned, it probably is. Somewhere along the lines, that manufacturer probably just threw on an unapproved version of Android on a piece of hardware, and when you get it out of the box and turn it on, you will not have a very good experience with the Android operating system. And I truly do believe I can actually put that across the board. If you've heard of the brand, then you probably can expect good things from the hardware. If you've never heard of the brand, you probably should keep walking. Matt, any tips you got?
No, not really, other than I had some in my head before the podcast, but I would probably say when it comes to just buying technology in general, just be mindful of who you're buying it for and how long you plan to keep it. Even though it may be on sale, you're going to find a lot of sales maybe on cell phones, smartphones, I mean. And just remember you're signing a 2-year contract for probably a year-old phone. And be mindful that it may not receive updates like you want it. And if you're not the type to root or doing any of that stuff, then you're probably going to be stuck with an out-of-date phone, and for another 2 years. So just be mindful of that. And I agree with Adam about the whole tablet thing and what you buy. Just make sure it has the official Android on there. Because I've seen some on Amazon that had resistive touchscreens and an unauthorized version of Android.
Real quick, tell us the resistive touchscreen. What's the difference between that and the capacitive?
Do you remember the old Windows mobile phones?
Yeah.
Touchscreen phones? Remember how it had a small piece of plastic over it, and then it had the digitizer below it? And
then you had to depress the plastic on top low enough to actually make contact with the digitizer.
Yep.
That's right. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah,
you saw one recently? Because that's like ancient technology now, isn't it?
Yes, ancient. Yeah, I've seen one last Black Friday.
And they probably found some buyers.
Oh yeah, they were going like hotcakes on. They were like 20 or $30 or something, and like people bought several of them and just gave them out to the kids. And it came preloaded with a couple games, but it didn't have the Play Store. Then when you tried to sideload it, it wouldn't work. It wasn't an authorized device. It was just a terrible experience.
So that's one really, really good thing about Apple, in the respect of the fact that they're the only ones who can put their OS on their devices.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen Apple clones running Android.
Yeah.
So that's something to be mindful too, because there's a good chance, again, it's going to be made from a company that you probably won't recognize the brand name. So that falls into the category of I would not suggest buying it because you don't know who it is. Might not even have support. It probably will not support the Google Play services. And what that means is you can't use the Play Store. You can't use Gmail. You can't use any of the apps that Google has made.
Not even YouTube.
Can you? Well, that come standard on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that come standard on the
YouTube
phone.
app requires.
That's right. It won't have Google Play services, which means it won't have the security patches and updates. So, let's just say if it's too good to be true, walk away.
Oh yeah.
All right, Matt. We're about done. Got any production apps you'd like to share with our viewers? I got a question earlier in the week. They asked me to share what was my favorite production app to help me get like my daily life done, right? So my favorite production app is Google Keep. And that app is, and it's Keep, Keep. It's a note-taking app, which can also do checklists. And what I use it for in our household is to make grocery lists. And ultimately, the greatest purpose of this is I can share that list with my wife, and she can have the app on her phone. And if either one of us is coming home from work, you got that age-old question, hey, honey, I'm on my way home. You need anything from the grocery store? Well, guess what? You got the Google Keep app. She adds it to the list. By the time you're at the grocery store, you've got your updated list as soon as you open the app. And so you don't have to worry about trying to take these notes down while you're driving or remember what she told you to get, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second reason why I love it so much, it has an Android Wear app. So you can bring it up on your phone and you can bring it up on your wristwatch, your Android watch, and as you're shopping, yeah, you probably can't see that, it's kind of washed out. As you're shopping, you don't have to pull your phone out of your pocket. And you know how your watch screen will dim, and then when you pick up your wrist, it'll light back up again?
Mm-hmm.
It will stay there at the forefront. It won't go back to the watch face. So you don't have to go find the app again and find the list again. So you just pick your wrist up, you see the list, you hit the check box, you check it off, and it drops it to the bottom of the list and out of your way. And you can just go through the grocery store, put 5 things in your grocery cart, tap it off, and just keep on going. Never have to pull your phone out of your pocket again. Or not while you're in the grocery store.
Ideally, too, you could use it to make payments, too. Your watch.
Yeah. I don't think that these have NFC in them.
Oh.
Well, the Huawei Watch doesn't, that I'm aware of. I don't think so.
This does.
Yeah. Is that the Apple? That's the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Have you done an Apple payment from the Apple Watch?
Yeah. I think I've done it more on my watch than on my phone.
I don't know.
It's easier on the watch because all you're doing is hitting this button twice, this button on the side.
Mm-hmm.
You're hitting it twice, and then it comes up. And I closed it.
Well, what kind of production app do you have to share with our viewers?
Production app would be between, there's an app called IA Writer. That's IA Writer. It's an iOS and Mac app. It's pretty much like a simple text app that I like to use. It's almost like a text editor, but it has a really good way of, let me see if I can show you. This is plain text, and you can use little the keyboard.
Can you hold it up again?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can hold it up again. Hold on. It's just plain text, and it syncs up, so you can share it with people, and same way that you're using Google Keep. Sometimes I just want a quick app, just it's almost like a scratch piece of paper, But the beauty of it is it has a special keyboard that pops up whenever you use it. And for example, a star makes like a bulleted list. A number, a pound sign makes a numbered list. And it has like all these different options. Hold on, I'm trying to see here. But it's on the Mac also, so you can have it on your desktop. I wish it was more cross-platform. That would be much better. But that's one of my favorites. Other than that, I use OneNote because I use that for work. So I like being able to take pictures and do things for work and for home as well. But IA Writer, it's about $3, I believe, about $3, and you get the Mac version for about $3 as well. I think it's $3 each.
And that one's just on the iOS?
Yeah, it's just on iOS. But like I said, just to kind of, I know this is an Android show. OneNote is what I also use whenever I'm doing something to just be everywhere. I use OneNote, Microsoft OneNote.
That one shares as well, right?
Yeah, that one is pretty cool because you can make notebooks and share it with certain people and have a running notebook of notes. That's really robust. OneNote is, yeah.
What I told y'all to wrap up, I told you I got the V10 coming up to talk about. What have you got up on the radar on your side?
Right now, I'm actually trying to obtain V10 as well and the Droid Turbo 2.
Oh yeah, that'll be nice.
Oh
yeah, your camera started, or your internet connection started jumping out when we were talking about the Turbo 2, and I'm really looking forward to I mean, you said wish they'd drop the Droid line, but I'm really looking forward to the Droid Turbo 2.
I think it's a very nice phone. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that shatterproof screen. It looks like a resistive screen. Like it looks like it has like a layer of plastic over something else and something else and something. It just does. It looks like it's gonna get messed. I don't think it's gonna last very long. I think it's shatterproof because it's not really glass. That's why it's shatterproof.
I think you're right.
And that's not appealing to me because plastic dulls and plastic fogs up. So I'm really curious to see how long that. I mean, just how it looks after a while. I mean, it's
outer layer is just a screen protector. A thicker screen protector.
Yeah. So I mean, when I buy an OtterBox, the OtterBox Defender, I punch the plastic part out the front.
Oh yeah.
And I use this glass screen protector under that, and that is an ideal case. I would rather do that than buy a phone that's shatterproof. I mean, the fact that it is pretty cool, it is pretty compact, and it has a QHD screen and all those features. That's what I'm interested in. But I'm not sold on that screen yet. Mind you, I haven't touched it yet, so we'll see.
It is LED, right?
I don't think it's AMOLED.
It's LCD. I know this year's Moto X was LCD. So
I don't think it's an AMOLED. No.
Okay, so I'm not sold on Moto X active display on an LCD screen.
If it has active display, then it has to be LED.
No, that's not true because the new Moto X has an LCD and it has active display.
How is it able to light up individual pixels?
It doesn't. It doesn't, and that's why I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
You can see the backlight through what's supposed to be black, what you're used to being black on an AMOLED. It really lights up the room, if you will, even when it's just the center white pixels for the time breathing on and off.
Mm-hmm.
It still lights up the room because it's an LCD and you got that backlight that comes on. So I'm not sold on that. And if that's what the Turbo 2 has as well, that won't be my favorite part of it. So
yeah.
All right, Matt, we're gonna wrap it.
All right, man.
Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I hope everybody else had a good time. We'll probably schedule another for the beginning of December when everybody gets back from stuffing themselves from Thanksgiving turkey. But in the meantime, everybody just keep it real. See you later.
Bye, guys.